Did you know Africa is where humanity began? The oldest known Homo sapiens remains, dating back 315,000 years, were found in Jebel Irhoud, Morocco. But Africa's story doesn't start there. Sahelanthropus caudensis, a hominin fossil from Chad, pushes our origins back to 7.2 million years ago. Africa is not just the birthplace of humanity, it's a land of ancient empires, groundbreaking technology, and resilient cultures. Long before European colonization, Africa was home to thriving civilizations. The Tichituoloto region in Mauritania had stone-built settlements by 1100 BC, and Old Gen in Mali was established by 250 BC. These were centers of innovation and culture. But Africa's history is also marked by disruption. The Berlin Conference of 1884-1885 formalized the partition of Africa among European powers, leading to the scramble for Africa. By the late 1880s, only Ethiopia and Liberia remained independent. The impact of colonialism was devastating, reshaping borders, economies, and political systems in ways that still affect the continent today. Yet, Africa's story is one of resilience. The wave of decolonization began with Libya in 1951 and peaked in 1960, the year of Africa, when 17 nations declared independence. This transformed African politics and created the modern sovereign state system. But Africa's history is not just about empires and colonization. It's about overlooked innovations. Did you know Africa had advanced steel production around 2,000 years ago near Lake Victoria? They used carbon steel in preheated forced draft furnaces, a technological marvel of its time. Early agricultural development in Egypt's western desert dates back to 12,000 years ago, with crops like barley, chickpeas, and wheat. These achievements challenged the outdated idea that Africa's history begins with Europeans. The transatlantic slave trade, documented in the Transatlantic Slave Trade Database, forcibly transported over 12 million Africans to the Americas. This demographic loss and forced labor became foundational to the economies of the Americas. Yet, African resilience shines through the Underground Railroad, which helped around 100,000 enslaved people escape to the North between 1810 and 1850. Black intellectual history in the Americas also reflects this resilience. Lucy Terry's Bass Fight, written in 1746, is the first known poem by a black American. Phyllis Whitley became the first African American to publish a book of poetry in 1773, and William Wells Brown's Clotel, published in 1853, is the first novel by an African American. Carter G. Woodson, the creator of Black History Month, and the Negro Motorist Green Book, published from 1936 to 1966, are testaments to the enduring legacy of African history. UNESCO's General History of Africa project was created to correct Eurocentric narratives and present Africa's history on its own terms. Africa's deep prehistory, technological innovations, and cultural resilience reveal a continent central to human evolution and global history. Modern African debates about identity, borders, and nationhood are tied to colonial partition. Discussions about reparations and diaspora connections are rooted in the documented scale of the slave trade. Ongoing interest in indigenous knowledge and innovation connects to archaeological evidence for early African achievements. Africa's history is a story of resilience, innovation, and transformation. It's a story that shapes our world today.